I just wanted to give like a word of encouragement to introverts out there. We live in a society where, especially for when we're growing up, it's almost like we're expected to be sometimes something that we're not. And also, like, we live in a really extroverted sensory environment in this world. And I just want to say, just stay encouraged that there's no need to change who you are. And as we know, that if you're truly like an introvert or extrovert, you can't really change inherently who you are. And I think there's so many definitions of what an introvert is that are not necessarily true. Like, it said like all introverts are shy or reserved, and that's not necessarily true. For those, especially those who know like MBTI, we know that it's so much more to what that means, that where you get your energy from, and as far as like even personalities affects our personality. And I know, like, when I was younger, I wish that I knew more about that, thinking like, well, why am I not like this person who's more extroverted or outgoing, and I think sometimes even, again, they can start like even in the home, if we're kind of told, especially if we have parents who are extroverted, are extroverted, they may think like, well, why aren't you like this person, or why aren't you like me, like, and I do want to say, and this is specifically for introverts, so, and this is encouraging for them, for us as introverts, just be who you are. And because I think we think sometimes like something is wrong, like, like there's nothing wrong with you, like what you do, and again, this is specifically for introverts, so like, think about it. How many times do we tell an extrovert, you need to be more this, you need to be more that? And I feel like sometimes introverts get a lot of like flack, or like, are told just to do, or just like shame, for being who they really are. And I think people don't know that, and also they don't know that themselves, introverts, because maybe they don't know, like they're thinking like something's wrong, like why am I not as outgoing as this person? And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that causes a lot of shame, which can also lead to like sadness and anxiety, depression, thinking like that something's really wrong with you. But it's like, no, this is your genetic makeup. Like, like you really can't, yes, of course, we all have a little bit of extrovertedness in us. Even extroverts have introverted, but at the end of the day, you are who you are. So I just wanted to make this quick video. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, and just stay encouraged. I might talk more about this later, just going more in depth with it, that, yeah, it's okay to be who you are, and it's almost like you have to kind of take away the voices in your head, whether the voices are your own voices or the voices of other people, I think, again, this particularly goes out to people who are trying to find themselves, and people who are younger, and people who, again, are just really trying to figure out themselves. So stay encouraged, and just know that nobody is better than, like, no one is better than anybody else. And I think that's something else that we're kind of taught of, like, that somehow there's like an extrovert is somehow superior than an introvert personality type. Because I would like to hear more about that conversation, and like what people, like what their experiences have been, especially maybe if all the people around you were extroverts, and maybe you were only the introvert, around, that I'm sure that had to be tough, because especially if people are comparing you, or maybe you had parents that compared you to other children, or like even, now, who knows, like, so I would like to hear that story. But yeah, thanks. I'll talk to you later.